this is an unscripted video, just basically talking about the situation in real estate right now. You all have probably heard a lot about the lawsuit that's going on in the Midwest about the fact that buyers agents were paid from the seller's commissions. 85% of all transactions, all real estate transactions, are originated with a buyer's agent. That's just a fact. I mean, and so when they say that the seller was paying the buyer's agents and that it was not correct, I see no way around that, because buyers generally, when they come to the table, don't have an extra $15,000 sitting around. Most, I'll say 60 to 70% of the buyers require some giving from the seller of some kind. They usually ask for 3% towards buyer's closing costs or something along that lines. But the bottom line is, even if they're FHA or VA and they have zero down, there's still money that must come from somewhere. And if we ask for the buyer's agent, the buyer to pay the buyer's agent fees, those are usually about 3%, 2 to 3%. And it's all negotiable. Can be as low as 1, can be as high as 5, 10, depending on the property, depending on the dollar amount. So the bottom line, though, is this: is that if they ask for a commission on the buyer's side, the buyers generally aren't going to have it. And 85% of all transactions are generated by buyer's agents. So the answer then is, well, does the seller have the ability to not pay the buyer's agent? And the answer is no, I don't believe so. I mean, yes, you could say, and I know there will be sellers that are going to say, I'm just not going to pay. Well, I know a number of buyer's agents out there now. I probably have talked to dozens, maybe 30 or 40. And they basically said, we don't work for free. You know, we're going to look at the offer that somebody has. We're going to contact the selling agent and say, you know, what is the commission on the buyer's agent? And if the buyers are not going to offer any commission, then they're not going to show the property. So, I mean, that's not mean. You wouldn't ask a plumber to come out and do plumbing with the hopes that he's going to get paid. You're not going to ask your attorney, oh, by the way, go ahead and do the work, but I'll pay you afterwards. No. An attorney up front, we have an attorney, and when we do like for example, a foreclosure or something like that, they want a retainer fee. And a lot of times it's $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. So if you want to hire an attorney, you're going to pay a significant fee. If you want to hire a plumber, you're going to pay them, in this area, it's over $100 an hour. If you want an electrician, again, same thing, $100, $120, $150 an hour. I don't know how sellers expect a buyer's agent to do their business without getting paid. So what this basically is just a much ado about nothing. You're talking about the government in collusion, and I mean in collusion with attorneys to hit NAR with a huge fee. And the reasoning behind it is multiple. And this is kind of in-depth, but I'll just go into it anyway. The reason behind it is that these large corporations, there's a number of large corporations that are snapping up single-family homes across the nation. They're paying above market value. So if the market value is $300,000 for a home, a lot of times they're paying $310,000, $320,000, $330,000 for that home. Why is that a problem? You know, it sounds like the sellers are getting a great deal. Well, except that, what about the buyers? Now the buyers can't get those homes, and oftentimes in certain markets, it's a third of the home. So now you're talking about a huge deficiency of buyers being able to buy homes. So where are these homes going? They're going to renters. What these big corporations are doing for their profits, aligning their profits. You know, Joe Biden, I don't like him in a lot of ways, but he does say one thing: there are greedy corporations that are going against the wishes of the general public. The general public, everybody wants a home. Everybody wants to have a single family home that they can call their own. And what's happening is these huge corporations are buying up the homes in front of them, and then raising the falsely, artificially raising the market, so that what will happen is that the regular buyers can't afford it. Now, is that going to be long term? No, of course not. Probably 3 to 5 years. But in the meantime, roughly a third of all transactions are going to be going to these huge corporations. So in the past, these huge corporations didn't have anything. They literally might have had 1% of the market. Now they're going to have 30 plus percent of the market, a third of the market. And what that's doing is that's artificially raising the prices. And why would that have anything to do with the buyer's agency? Because here's what I really believe is happening. I believe that these corporations are colluding with the government, powers in the government, and attorneys, and creating this environment where they're acting like buyer's agents are doing something wrong, which we are not. We have a fiduciary responsibility to represent the buyers and try to hammer down the sale price. That's what a buyer's agent's responsibility is to hammer down that price, not raise it up. Even though we're paid commission, our responsibility is to the buyer as a buyer's agent. And so what is happening is these guys are artificially raising the prices. And when you have a market where the prices are raised artificially, then a lot of people aren't going to be able to afford homes. And that's exactly what's happening right now. You're talking about the 18 to 35 crowd. Very few own homes. And the reason they can't afford homes is because it takes 20 years of their salaries to afford it, and the banks won't loan them. If you don't have a 38% loan to debt ratio where you can afford to put 38% down every month on a home, the banks aren't going to get you that. They're not going to give you the loan. So the bottom line is this, is that you have a triad: the government, powers in government, the attorneys, and you have the big corporations. And Zillow's part of this. They're not, you know, they're right in there with it. They're actually as guilty as the rest of them. But there's also very large corporations that are doing this, and it's to the detriment of the middle class. If you think that for some reason that it's the buyer's agents that are doing this, you're an idiot. Because honestly, the buyer's agents have absolutely no methodology, nor would they want to do this, because it's like being an environmentalist. Hunters are environmentalists because they want the crop to remain. And what this is doing is this is killing the middle class. This is absolutely destroying the middle class, because all the middle class now, all the younger middle class anyway, can't afford a home. They cannot afford to buy a single family home. So what's going on is that the middle class now will not be just homeless, but they'll be renters. You know, they actually are going to be long-term renters, and it's not their fault. It's the fault of these huge corporations, and it's the fault of the government entities that are in this. There should be a law passed, and I recommend that you talk to your senator, your congressman, and you basically tell them that we need to pass legislation that says that large corporations may not own more than a few, let's say 2% of the market in single family homes. They may not, period. End of conversation. They may not buy them. Because what happens if that happens is you're going to end up with a society of renters. And the single family home is the bastion of America. It's the everybody wants to have their own castle. And if you take that away, you're basically taking America away. We are no longer going to be a society of free people. We're going to be an indentured servitude society that are going to be indentured to these big corporations and to the big banks. Yes, that's what they want. The big banks and big corporations want that. So if you want to do that, you know, just don't pay a buyer's agent. You know, act like this is just, you know, business as usual. But if not, call your congressman, call your local senator, call every politician you can and say, this has to stop. That we cannot allow these large corporations to own the vast majority of America's middle class. We cannot allow it. You know. So anyway, that's what I think. And if you would like to just at the bottom, just hit a like and pass this on. Keep this going. And so I really appreciate you listening to me. And again, this is Ray Rose from Realty Associates. I'm a broker, long-time broker, been in the real estate business for 25 years, and it has radically changed. And honestly, it's just not the way it used to be. But anyway, it's Realty Associates, and I'm out of Brooksville, Florida. If you want to message me, my email address is rayprose@gmail.com, and my phone number is 352-797-9797. Easy to remember, 352, then 797-9797. Anyway, thank you much for listening to my little soliloquy, and hopefully this will make something happen. Anyway, thank you. Bye.